everyone, welcome to the video. So in today's video, I'll be talking about the Zurich Delta exam, which has been released last week on 16th of January. So in today's video, I'll be talking about the Delta exam and how to get yourself prepared for the exam. So let's begin. So to access the exam, first you would need to go to the learning.servicenow.com. And while you're on the home page, you can scroll down and you see a section which says one or more credentials at risk. So this is the section from where actually you're going to access the Delta exam. So if you come to this link here, you can access your Delta exams from here. So click on this link and you can see all your Delta exams would be listed here. Now you have to pick up the exam which you want to take. So for example, let me pick up the CAD Certified Application Developer. So once I'm here, I can see the details of the exam. And then you also get to see the start button, which you can click and start the exam, but don't do that right away. You can scroll down. About this path, you would see the link here, which would take you to the documentation of the exam, in the sense that whatever questions which would come in the exam would be in the context of the material which is provided here. So it's a great and easy way to navigate what your exam content would be. Now let's go and click this link here. So it has opened a KB article. Now if I scroll down, so it talks about the release, talks about all the audience of this exam. Then you go here, Delta exam study guide content. Now this is very important because this would tell you what ServiceNow is focusing on for this Delta exam. And this is also a way which ServiceNow would tell you that, okay, for this release, for the Zurich release, they want to promote a particular functionality of the platform. Like last time it was Security Center, and similarly this time for the CAD exam, it's the ServiceNow Studio. Now for your HR, it could be different. For your SPM, it could be specific new functionality introduced in the SPM space. For CSA, it could be different. This time they have focused on the update sets. So let's scroll down and study the KB content. So this KB talks about the different areas of ServiceNow Studio, all focused into the capabilities and functionalities which has been introduced or which has been provided with the ServiceNow Studio. So I would recommend that whenever you're ready to take any of the Delta exams, just go through this KB article on the exam page so that you know the context of the Delta exam and you don't have to read through the entire platform functionality. So you are more focused and you know what to prepare for. So normally what I do is basically I go through this article and then I try to pick up the areas which are mentioned in this article, and then I try to explore it onto the platform. Now that we know that these are the different areas of the tool from where the questions could come in the Delta exam, so I would go to my PDI and try to explore these areas. Okay, let's go to our PDI. So I'm on my PDI, which is on Zurich version, and I can see that the homepage itself shows ServiceNow Studio as the top option here. So I won't go to ServiceNow Studio from here, but instead from the application navigator, because I just want to understand the structure where this ServiceNow Studio has been added on the application navigator. When I typed ServiceNow Studio, I can see that this has been added under the app engine. The ServiceNow Studio, which is an integrated development environment. So it's a one-stop shop for all your development needs. Now, there are different areas where you might have to go and do development in ServiceNow. Like for widgets, you have to go to the widget editor. If you are modifying a UI page or you're building a UI page, you have to go to the UI builder. If you're planning to build something on the Flow Designer, you have to go to the Workflow Studio. But with ServiceNow Studio, you get everything at one place. It's a centralized interface for the development needs. So that's how I would describe it. So let's go to ServiceNow Studio and see how it is a one-stop shop for all our development needs. So it's a pretty compact interface. I would say it's a kind of unified interface, and unified page or a unified interface has been a theme of ServiceNow in recent years. If you see, the workspaces and everything, admin center, the security center, everything is themed around unified interface. Now from here, let's go to the first option on the left. I think this is my favorite on the ServiceNow Studio. So I really love their code search functionality which they have introduced with the ServiceNow Studio. So I can click here, activate code search, and then I can select the area in which I want to search specific piece of code. Now say, okay, in business rule, I want to search all the business rule which might contain the gs.info statement. There you go. And you can open these business rule right from here. Isn't it so convenient? So if I just want to open one of them, let's say this business rule. So if I click on open file, I can go to the business rule directly from here. And here you get the native view only. But the important thing is that I could pull this up right from the ServiceNow Studio. So I don't have to browse through different areas to reach somewhere to search something, right? This is, I think, very helpful. Now let's see what all other things which are available. The create option, using which you can create the application or application file directly. Okay, let's try these options here. So if I click on app, what do we get? So on the right hand side, I get a tab view. Let me take that away. Yeah. Choose how you want to create your app. So you get 3 options to do it. Now, the interesting thing is that, while you're working on the application, it also shows the scope of this application, where exactly it's getting created. So you would find it here on the bottom. That's interesting. Okay, let's see the file option also. So the file option is a little different because you have to specify the application here. Say if I choose Access Analyzer, application scope, then I get to see all the objects of the application Access Analyzer. Now say if I want to do something on the client script, it gives me an option to create the client script, but you can see that there are 2 places where it shows the scope of the application. So it's here at the bottom. You can see the scope defined here. You can also see the scope here on the tab itself. And then you can see the update set information also. So when you click here on the default option, you also get the application information and update set information. You can also create new. So a lot of flexibility which I could see here. So let me just close it down. Then you have the app based option where you can search or filter app. So it would give a high level view of all the applications. So right now it has selected custom by default, but I think you can choose like all options or store apps or create a studio apps, or you can choose the fluent option to search code at the file level. So you can see it has listed all the application here. So if I click on the application, it would show me all the development objects of that application. I can also use the plus button here to create more in this application scope. I think this is very handy and useful. So let me just pick up one of the script here. So ultimately it's the same native view kind of. If you go to the client script section and you open a client script, you would get almost similar view. But the thing is that you can open it directly from high level navigator like this. It makes things much more convenient, I think. Okay, there's option to collapse, expand, then file categories. So this would display all the objects of the platform in different file categories. So data would be the tables, I believe. Yeah, it would have the tables and all the data related items. You have the integrations, mid-server, mobile-based objects. So you can open it directly from there. You also have a bookmark option where you get to see all your bookmarks, the applications or the objects which you have bookmarked. Then there is a recent, which would tell you like the recent applications which are opened on the studio. So quick way to access different applications and objects of your interest or the things which you are developing. Pretty interesting. Now let's see, let's try to open few of the different development objects, interfaces or builders. Let me go to the apps navigator. Let me pick up something from the access analyzer. What about the UI builder stuff? So if I go to the UI builder part of the application, I can see I can open the UI builder right from here. So you can work on the UI builder right inside the ServiceNow Studio. Now, what about something which would be on Service Portal? And that would be the knowledge, I believe. Knowledge for Service Portal. Do we have any widgets listed? So we have got some widgets also. So if I try to open a widget, so I can work on a widget right from here. I can clone a widget and start working. But what if I want to work in the editor? So it would open the editor separately on a new tab, but I think it is still fine. So I can do it. I mean, I can open everything right from one unified interface. So that's a game changer actually. So I think this is pretty much it. So this is what I would do normally. So whenever I'm on a Delta exam, so once I'm happy with all the learning which I have done based on the study guide, I would go and start the exam because I think I'm ready to attend it. Okay, one more thing I want to mention here is that while you have started your exam on a different tab, you can still refer this KB article on a different tab. So actually you can refer this KB article while you are giving the exam. So it's very handy. But we need to respect the main aim of the exam, which is basically learning. ServiceNow wants their developers to be aware of the new functionalities which are introduced. So that's the main motive, I think, and it makes perfect sense that as a developer, we study all the new functionalities which are introduced and be well aware of it, so that we can incorporate it in our development process. So I can go and click agree and enroll. And I have to click start one more time to actually start the exam. So definitely I won't record all the questions and answers. I think by this time you know and you have got a hang of how the Delta exams would be and how to get yourself prepared for the exam. So I think this is where I would stop the video for now and wish you all the best for your future exam. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was useful to you. Thank you very much.